So I'm here with Maximus, we're up in Hendon and we're on mock test again. Maximus did sit a test and unfortunately he failed it by one serious. I think you had what, 2 minors? 2 driver faults. Anyway, we're back on test. And also I just want to broadcast this to everybody. The apex corner is now back open. So in one of my videos I said that the apex corner was out of action, but it's now back on the menu. So if you're doing a test at Hendon, be ready for the apex corner. Do you understand what's going to happen on this test?
Yes.
So very quickly, at all times I like to follow the road ahead unless I tell you to turn left or turn right, or unless road signs indicate otherwise. If I need you to turn, I'll tell you in good time. We're going to take in one reversing manoeuvre, possibly an emergency stop, and I'll be asking you a couple of show me, tell me questions. And we're going to be driving for approximately somewhere between 35 and 42 minutes.
Okay.
Tell me how you would check that your directional indicators were working properly.
I would turn on the indicators and get out and see if the lights are blinking.
That's it, yeah.
Really
do you know the way that you can do it really efficiently?
What's the most efficient way?
Just stick your hazard warning lights on.
Yeah.
Just walk around the car.
Alright, and do both at once.
Yeah. All right, so when we see you next, we'll be starting the test. So whenever you're ready,
Yeah.
drive on to the left. And then we're going to take the second road on the right. First is here, second is just there.
This is Maximus's second mock test, and his real test is only days away. As always, Maximus drives well, but he is prone to the occasional mistake. So far, it's a solid start. Good observation throughout, taking his corners well and keeping his speed down. He responds well to the motorbike, and then to pedestrians that decide to just walk across the road.
And then at the roundabout, we're going to turn right.
I guess with the way that the road is laid out, it's not surprising that pedestrians might assume they can just walk across. So if you're taking your test at Hendon, be careful.
And then you're going to take the next road on the right here, please.
Maximus's solid start continues with a nice comfortable emerge onto Graham Parkway. He again responds really well to a car emerging on his left, just coming off the gas, just in case. He deals with this upcoming meeting situation reasonably well. He has a chance to nudge this second car over as there's more room on the left. It's not a fault, it just slows him down. But again, he manages his speed well as he gets closer to these parked cars as the space narrows. And again, because he doesn't quite get his positioning right, he's slightly hesitant as he passes this double parked car. Again, this is just advisory.
And then if you just find somewhere to pull up on the left in a safe place, please.
Maximus's pull up on the left is textbook. He checks his mirrors, signals, and looks for a safe spot to pull up. Nothing to do with Maximus, but this car passes a bit close. The second car shows how it should be done. There's absolutely no problem of crossing that centre line if there's no oncoming traffic.
Okay, so whenever you're ready.
You will arrive at your destination at 10:59 a.m.
And Maximus displays again a textbook move off.
To 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the second exit, Buns Lane. Then turn left.
It's a little bit early on the signal, but it doesn't affect anybody, so just advisory.
Go right on the roundabout and take the second exit, then turn left.
Maximus manages this mini roundabout well. He signals to exit, which is completely unnecessary. You only need to signal to exit on a mini roundabout if somebody's going to benefit.
turn left.
Maximus times his signal and checks his mirrors well for this junction. Maximus is about to be asked his show me question.
When it's safe to do so, could you beep the horn for me, please? Thank you very much.
And he has no problem finding the horn.
At the end of the road, turn left, A5100, the Broadway, then turn right. Turn left, then turn right.
Maximus again demonstrates good defensive driving by letting this car go. This junction can actually be quite tricky. It's got a controlled pedestrian crossing on your left, and if you're distracted by traffic coming from your right looking for your gap, if you forget to check, you could find yourself moving through a red light. Always double check the pedestrian crossing. And of course, Maximus doesn't forget to check. He picks up his speed just a little bit too high through this section. Because of all the parked cars and the fact it's a high street, it just slightly increases the risk. He does reduce his speed after he picks up the pedestrian and the car that could move off on the left. And further down the road, the cyclist.
After 300 yards, turn right, A5100, Hale Lane.
But this is still a driver fault for use of speed. Maximus appears to get momentarily confused by the flashing amber at this traffic light, and then only moves forwards once it turns green. He then responds well, waiting patiently for this car to do its park. Although this driver controls the vehicle well, don't copy the observations. Maximus then proceeds to manage his speed well throughout this tight section of road, and then clearly demonstrates that he's planning well on the sat-nav, taking his right turn before the sat-nav even gives him the direction.
After 60 yards, turn right, A5100, Hale Lane.
It's always a good idea to plan ahead. The next few turns are all pretty simple. We're just looking for somewhere to perform the parallel park.
And if you could pull up on the left in front of that white Mercedes, and in this instance, don't worry too much about the driveways. Maybe you could park next to that tree.
Okay.
Drive on when you're ready.
Maximus is about to perform the parallel park exercise, and in this instance he's doing it on a drop curb, which is tricky. You mustn't go up it.
After 100 yards, turn left, Sunbury Avenue, then turn right.
Maximus performs good effective observation and starts off by looking towards the rear window. He then makes sure he checks over his shoulder before the car swings out. He does, however, swing out quite wide. This is always incredibly risky, even without a drop curb. When you swing out wide, it's much harder to judge how close you're going to be to the curb. And unfortunately for Maximus, he enters the driveway. You can see it quite clearly here. He manages to get it done, but unfortunately it's too late, and this is a serious fault for control on the parallel park. One thing I can say though is he does maintain good effective observation throughout. but he can't seem to get off the curb.
Okay, you done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, drive on when you're ready and continue following the sat nav, yeah?
Yeah.
Turn left, Sunbury Avenue, then turn right. Turn right, A5109, Selvage Lane, then go right on the roundabout and take the third exit, A1, Watford Way.
And now Maximus has to tackle the apex corner, right third exit.
After you've completed the apex, I'll be directing you as normal.
After 100 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Or after the next junction, I'll be directing you as normal.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit, A1, Watford Way.
And today it's reasonably busy. Maximus initially struggled with the apex corner, especially entering from this particular junction. He always stood still even when there was an opportunity. And unfortunately, he continues the trend. He has a half chance, but he doesn't move. To move out onto a busy junction, it's important that you don't have a standing start. Edging slightly forwards will give you the advantage and help you to take the gap. He does do this the second time though. Maximus picks the correct lane for the right third exit. And as always, I recommend you read the road marking and count the exits. Maximus also correctly doesn't change lanes here, holding his position, which puts him into the middle. And again, I recommend you read the road marking. He then checks his mirrors well, but mistimes his signal for exit. This is a driver fault for signal timed. He takes his time to move back to the left, but he does eventually and doesn't get passed by any vehicles. So in this instance, it's just advisory.
Okay, so I'll be directing you as normal now, so just ignore the sat nav if it comes on.
But be careful, because this could easily go against you.
Okay, so at the roundabout, follow the road ahead, please.
Okay.
Following the road ahead at the Mill Hill Circus is not that tricky, and although he keeps good lane discipline, he doesn't signal for exit. It doesn't affect anybody, but it is a driver fault for necessary signal.
And then if you could just take the next road on the left, which is just a little bit past these traffic lights. And then just follow the road ahead.
Maximus enters a couple of meeting situations along this road and deals with them well.
And then take the next road on the right here, please.
Maximus signals a little bit early for this junction, but again it's just advisory. Maximus accelerates well and makes good progress down this road. And on the next junction, which is on a blind corner, he deals with it well.
And then we're going to take the next road on the right, which is just sort of around this bend.
It It can be very simple to make a mistake on a junction like this, but if your visibility is that poor, do be careful that a car is not rushing around that bend.
And then again, if you could just find somewhere to pull up on the left in a safe place. Seems like there's a lot of cars parked here. I'm sure we can find somewhere.
Shortly, Maximus is about to perform the emergency stop, and he does it to textbook.
Okay, so we're going to perform the emergency stop exercise.
Yep.
Okay, so I'd like to bring the car to an immediate and abrupt halt, and I'm under full control. My signal will be stop, and I'll be making sure that it's nice and safe behind us for us to perform this maneuver, okay?
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, drive on.
When your examiner starts looking over his shoulder, you know it's coming.
And stop. That's great, thank you very much. I won't ask you to do that again. Drive on when you're ready.
Maximus secures the car and does all the correct observation before moving off in the middle of the road.
And then we're just going to follow the road ahead here at the roundabout.
Maximus is about to get caught out in a meeting situation, and this particular example, in a lot of instances, could be a serious fault.
And then at the end of this road here, turn right, please.
However, because of the way he manages it, I'm only putting it down as a driver fault. Be very careful though, because this could easily escalate to become a serious. It's at this point here he should be assessing that space on the left and moving in. He only has a couple of seconds to react. But unfortunately, he glances down at his gear at the critical moment. The truck driver initially beckons him on, but Maximus moves straight into reverse. It's far safer for Maximus to reverse than a truck to reverse onto a major road, and it's for this reason that this saves Maximus. If he hadn't responded and I had to intervene, this would have definitely been a serious. And if you replay the clip, you'll see that Maximus does full effective observation. In most cases, this would be a serious fault. I have decided to driver fault it. But if this happens to you on the day of your test,
And then at the end of the road here,
be careful.
turn right, please. And then at the roundabout, which is just past this bridge, turn left.
On such a bright day, it can be hard to manage the conditions when the light fluctuates between light and dark, but he manages his speed well. He's a little bit hesitant at this roundabout and had an opportunity to go straight away. For this reason, it's a driver fault for undue hesitation. From here on out, it's a straight run back to test centre down Graham Park Way. There have been times in this test that Maximus has been driving just fractionally too slow, and in parts on this stretch of road, he's doing it again. For this reason, he picks up a driver fault for progress appropriate speed. He's travelling between 20 and 25 miles an hour. There's no one behind, so again, it's just a driver fault.
And then if you take the second road on the left, first is here, second is just where Beaufort Park is, where that man's just walked across the road.
And we're back to test centre.
Could you just drive forwards into any one of these two bays here?
One of these?
Yeah, just drive forwards into, it doesn't matter, you don't have to be in the bay in this instance. I'm not too concerned about that. That's it, switch engine off. That's the end of the test. Okay, buddy, I'm just to finish this off, I'm just gonna add up the scores.
Yeah. Parallel parking was awful.
Was it?
What do you mean was it? I was on the curb. On the drive. It was a drive, wasn't it? I tried to correct it after that.
How do you think that went?
I don't think I made any serious.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I may have. But I mean, I made a few minors of it.
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, you didn't pass that.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's because of the parallel park.
Yeah.
But you mustn't like go up it.
Yeah.
And because you went up it, you got a serious fault. So it's
Is
just
that serious?
Yeah.
Going up.
Well, if you go up the curb, is that a serious fault?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. So
Was my driving okay?
So that's the problem. One appropriate speed. Just driving a little bit slowly. I could have possibly given you one or two more, but I sort of like looked at it and I think the circumstances you kind of got away. It's just driving a little bit too slowly
But
at
it says
times.
the slow sign on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
How much should I go? Like,
Well, I mean, it's what is the slow sign for?
to go slow.
For what reason though?
Like,
Does
there
that
could be
mean just
people
after that you just
crossings coming up.
continue to drive slow, or you know what's it?
Just for crossings and stuff.
It could be. What about junctions?
Yeah.
Line junctions, or could be coming approaching school.
But
or
if
something.
I'm going 30 and there's a slow, what should I drop it to?
Oh,
20?
is it a good idea to respond to what it's saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I gave this last one, I'll be
Yeah.
very specific. We're coming down Graham Park Way, and you just were doing 24, 25, and it's just you sustained it for a period of time, and there was no reason to not go any quicker. So you may have gone across a slow, but then you just maintained slow. One for signal timed, that was for the exit of the apex corner.
Yeah.
I thought you did really well on the apex.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
No. Yeah, I thought you did really well. There was one instance where you didn't edge forwards like we discussed,
Yeah.
and you may have missed an opportunity, but it was so tight as an opportunity, I feel it's a bit harsh for me to then throw that at you, so I could go for one undue hesitation, but I also think that's a little bit
Is that
harsh.
a minor though?
It would have only been a driver fault. So I mean, there was that meeting situation that occurred as well. So you came around the corner, and then there was a skip truck that had turned into the junction. Did he cut the corner?
I didn't see.
Didn't see.
I'll say yes, because it helps me.
I think he did. I mean, it's quite difficult for these guys to actually take those corners properly anyway, but he just kind of cut across and he was in. He didn't think about what could possibly be coming the other way. But did you have an opportunity to possibly pull up just a little bit earlier? I think maybe you didn't respond very quickly when you saw it. That's the only thing. And the fact that you reversed, I thought you did the right thing by reversing, and even you said you think it was...
More convenient.
Absolutely. Is it to force him to then reverse out onto a major road? Does that mean what could go wrong there? Yeah. So I thought you did a really good job with that. So unfortunately, Maximus didn't pass this test. He did say to me before we did this test that he wanted to do a bit more practice on the reversing manoeuvres, and I think this reversing manoeuvre has indicated that he definitely needs to do a little bit of practice. And I think if we do that practice, again, Maximus, I think you're in a good spot. So anyway, that's the end of this. This is Maximus's mock test. So if you like what you've seen here, hit the like button, subscribe if you want more content, and we will see you, or I will see you, in the next one. Anyway, see you next time.
Thank you.
Get well out.